Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host today. Today is the 30th of October 2024. And as usual, I will check the participants. And yeah, there are no new participants, so we can skip that and continue with the reminders. Please remember that the meeting is recorded. If you would like to help the project via contributions or with contributions, then please feel free to follow the link or filter for help wanted or good first issue labels. We have quite a few, and by completing those tasks, you would help the project a lot. If you think your organization would like to advertise that you are using MetaCube and want to be an official adopter, publicly acknowledge that you adopted MetaCube, then please create a pull request and modify the adopters.md file in the root of the community repository by following the same pattern as the other organizations have done. That would help us gauge the adoption level of the project. If you are experiencing any CI related issue and you think that that specific issue is not related to your changes, but just the CI acting up, then please create a issue in the affected repo, then add this flaky or flake test or some kind of tag in front that specifies that it's a flake, and then assign that to the MetaCube CI tracker. This tag in front is not a requirement, but it's good to quickly see it when we are doing the triaging. Okay, other than that, feel free to check any of the resources linked here. Many of these are also visible on the front page of the MetaCube project when you open the project on GitHub. And I think we can continue with the community working groups if there are no other questions related to the reminders. Okay, then the first community working group is the ironing scalability. This first one is just a reminder from last week. It has been copied over. I think we can skip it. And then the first real one is from Mohammed.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, most of these has been merged. The basic scalability PRs that I had next week. So we added the Fakeepa and the FCAS to the devenv, and we added this E2E test that just apply scale number of BMH and wait for them to be available. It's already ready there, but it's not a triggerable test from the GitHub. Only CI maintainers can run this from Jenkins, and they have this Give Jenkins where they can set the number, the scaled number of the BMH and the batch size and the other parameters. So that's already running. The next one is we are trying to reuse the copy scalability test. Basically, just apply a scaled number of clusters. And yeah, and this has been we have been testing that locally. We created some PRs on copy repo to make the test reusable and add some hooks to add our customized things with the BMO and the BMH and so on. So this will be open soon, I think, on Carpentry as well. And yeah, with that, we'll have like our scalability test running. And that's all from my side. Yeah, I was also working on the TLS between Fakeepa, Sushi Tools, and Ironic. I added also a patch to Sushi Tools in order to add the TLS to the external notifier, it was merged, but we need to wait for the next release. Then we build the image on ironic image repo. Then we can enable the TLS between the components. But most of the PRs are ready. Once we get the release, we can enable that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a good update. And I think related to scalability, if I understood correctly, there is only one PR that will be open, and that's the last one, right? Or do we are we waiting for anything else or planning anything else?
Can you repeat?
So how many PRs are still outstanding, still waiting for review, or because this has been merged as you mentioned?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that requires for the scalability attention?
For now, no PRs need immediate review or check. Most of them are waiting for the Sushi Tools release, I mean the open one, and the next one is not open yet, the one that will run the KPM3 scalability, I mean the KPM3 clusters.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And then if there are no questions related to this one, but feel free to interrupt. The next one is from Dimitri related to the standalone operator.
Yep, thank you. As I've seen, probably our team has done a small push into finalizing some parts of our standalone operator. Namely, we synchronized the naming of some fields with the spec, and this is the biggest change probably that you see on your screen, is finalizing configurations / deployment scripts to actually be production ready. That's webhook support. It wires in feature gates support and testing. So now the end-to-end testing uses feature gates to enable all features and no longer fails or no longer silently ignores the webhook. Modernizes the configuration scripts quite a bit, except for this vars part, which is also deprecated, but I cannot wrap my head around it yet. Yeah, so basically that is going to be something that people can try deploying, and people do try deploying it, as we can see on Slack. So there's some feedback, although it needs more details. So this is ready for review. If someone wants to, I'll be here today still, then out for 2 days. So if anybody wants to provide feedback today, I can try to address it by end of day. And the second part is I started working on a very, very hacky attempt to integrate our standalone operator into MetalCube-DevEnv, just so that it starts somehow. I'm very far from finishing that. But again, if somebody wants to provide the feedback or take it over, just reach out to me. And yeah, but the cool thing in scalability context is now that now HA support, unfinished, to be clear, HA support can be enabled through a feature gate rather than explicitly in the code. That's basically the news for me.
Okay, thank you, Dimitri. Oh, there are quite a lot of things coming into the dev and into the test environment. I'm just trying to wrap my head around these. Okay, I will probably check this if I have some time. I can't promise, but I see there are already reviewers on this. Has there been review? No, not yet. Okay. But good progress. Thank you both Dimitri and Mohamed for pushing the Ironic stuff forward. Is there are there anyone who has questions related to the either the standalone operator or the scalability? If not, thanks for the update. Next, yeah, go on.
I have a question to Dimitri. Is there any plan to support multiple Ironic conductors size standalone.
So sorry, a bit quiet and breaking up. Support what?
Support the multiple ironic conductors.
That's basically what we are talking about in scalability section. So if you check the design proposal, it actually talks about HE architecture where each control plane node runs a single ironic instance rather than one ironic instance for the whole cluster. That will be the next big step. Ironic standalone operator is here because that becomes very complex to coordinate this. So we decided at some point that we need an operator to really orchestrate the HA stuff. So yeah, check the design proposal. It has details on this.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, if not, then next one would be release team. I have not heard much related to releases. And yeah, I think there are no news, but again, feel free to interrupt if someone remembers some release activity. Okay, the other one is from the run operator perspective. I had a small discussion within our team, and also in general, I was thinking about this that I would propose to the community that we would do backlog MetaCube backlog reviews every other week. So in like on the weeks when we don't have the triaging, we would look at the milestones and the backlog and see if we need to move something out from milestones or into the milestones. It would be mostly like done in a way that folks who want to move something to a milestone would be prepared and bring their topic. Otherwise, we would just check what's there and were there any changes, like how far we are from completing the milestone and so on. That would be like the idea, just to look at the milestones. Is there any opposition to that we would have 1 week where we would triage and then the other week where we would just check the milestone and folks can bring up stuff related to the milestone? Okay, if there's no objection, then we will start doing this not next week, but the week after. And then, yeah, we will go on like that from that point on. And I will do all the edits and you don't need to, for now, do anything. Of course, it's always welcome if someone would be proactive and just move something under a new milestone, for example, and then that would be mentioned here during the meeting. But we will find the best pattern, I believe, eventually. Okay, is there any question? If not, then we can start the regular discussion topics, and then the first one is the MetaCube team meetup, the online meetup that we had, I think, 2 already. That will be a longer, multiple hour long meetup. I would like this year's meetup to focus on mainly these 4 things. At least, so I would already propose the 4 highest priority items because I feel that this is one big topic actually, and these 4 proposals are touching it from one or another direction. And of course, if I see this comment, ironic HA, of course it can come into the mix. And I think there is now momentum behind the standalone operator and such. But yeah, I want this year to be a bit smaller scope, a bit more focused, and already dealing with stuff that we have been already doing, and there is already work behind it, and just we need discussion or agreement. Actually, for those 4, we don't even lack really the discussion. There are a lot of discussions, but we need like a MVP, an agreement, how to start moving those forward, because they seem to be a bit stuck in these high availability and not high availability, multi-tenancy related things. Okay, so what would be the good time slot for this? What I am looking for is like a proposal for like a 2-week period, and then I would create a poll, and then within that 2-week period we can select a day or 2. It's hard to gauge that is one day enough or we need 2, but we can discuss that later. But first, what I would need is like a approximate time frame. What I was thinking is second part of January.
I'll probably be out in the second part of January.
Okay, then we can move it to the first part of February. How does that sound? I ask it another way. Is there anyone who would have opposition to that? I will also send out an email tomorrow. If today on the meeting we have nothing against that, then I will just send out an email. Wait a week, and if there's no objection to that either, then I will just create the poll, and I will write it down already.
No objections to that. I just personal preference would be, instead of doing it 1 3-hour, can we do it like 2 sessions, 2 hours each, maybe something like that.
There is no objection from my part. If that's good for the community, I'm up for that.
I also like the idea of splitting maybe in a couple of days. But I was also thinking, and that's just an idea, I don't insist on that, but if we have a very, very limited list of topics we already want to discuss, if we simply want to, for each topic, to get the stakeholders and just schedule a 2-hour, 1 hour, I don't know, 1 hour and a half with a break call between people who most care about this stuff and are ready to push it forward. It could simplify the scheduling a bit, because, for example, you will need Steve Hardy on some of them, but maybe not the other. You may need Zane, for example, when talking about splitting the perimeter host, and Zane is in New Zealand, so scheduling with him is a special fun. So maybe you don't need a meetup in this form, or maybe you need a meetup, but as a separate thing, and just have 4 calls where we unblock each of these 4 efforts. Thoughts?
Yeah, I understand the approach, but I would really like to discuss this 4 in one like in one continuous discussion. It can be split to 2 days. I'm fine with that, but I see that everyone has some dependency to each of these. So like as far as I understood reading all 4 is that at some point each of them touches the other ones a little bit, or sometimes a lot. So I don't really want to like how to say like create a bit of these silos that we talk about the stakeholders of one and the other, because I would like to create a plan for like a holistic plan for all 4 of them, that how would they interact and how would we go forward. We already discussed it with Leonard, and he agreed that he would help with some architecture plan, that so we wouldn't go there without any preparation. But I want this four to be discussed together. And yeah, what you mentioned, that Zane is a bit a tricky case because he's in a very, very different time zone compared to us. So
Yeah, he can do European morning or I guess American evening, but if you want to drag someone from America in the same call, that's gonna be funny.
yeah, as far as I know, there is no US stakeholder on any of these, at least publicly. I only seen Europeans plus Zane on all of these. So I'm also fine if we do it 2 hours in the morning, like well, I don't know what's that in UTC, but that's also fine. So it does not need to be like UTC 2 p.m. or something like this. From my part, it can be in the morning. That's also fine. Especially if it's just 2 hours on 2 days, that we can fit that. Is there any opposition to 2 hours in the morning? What time zone should, like, not even time zone, but we are also a bit spread across Europe. So what morning should it be? Because in East European time, yeah,
So I'm in Central Europe. I know he can make meetings at 10 a.m. my time, which makes it around 9-ish UTC.
9
But we need to agree explicitly because it's still a bit late for him.
9 UTC. Okay, I will ping him. I will then put it like this. Pause on. Is there something else that I should add? First part in the morning. Oh, max 2 hours per day. Almost okay, 2 days. Wait a week. Wait a week. Send out a mail and wait a week. So I guess that's the plan. So it would be not in the afternoon, but in the morning in European time. Second part of February, from 2nd to the 15th, max 2 hours per day, most likely 2 days. And I will send the mail and organize it. Any other suggestions, questions related to this opposition? Something we should consider? Okay, if nothing, then that's the plan, and feel free to ping me if there's something comes to mind, and we will discuss that. Okay. Next topic is from Dimitri. Any KubeCon EU plans? Booth? Certainly, there are plans as far as I know, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is the application for the booths open?
I really don't know. Just realized that there is call for proposals right now, and I probably should try to do something that is inevitably going to be rejected because nobody's interested in bare metal. And also ask you about booth because I need to start some budget conversation. If you get a booth, if you don't get a booth, the budget conversation will be tough.
Yeah.
I think usually these applications start after the maybe KubeCon NA, but we usually do apply for the booth in every KubeCon. So we hopefully will get one booth in EU as well. So I don't know if we have discussed this previously, but we have a booth in KubeCon North America this time as well. And we also have an accepted talk for the Lightning Talk, where we would be actually like giving some updates on the Metal Cube like latest and greatest in that session.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but as far as I know, the plan is unchanged. So we are planning to send one or two people to the EU, right, Kashif? So there are no other, like it has not changed.
Yeah, no just plan. So most probably 2 persons from outside.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the plan. And then if the CFP is open, then we have to check that too, because so far the focus was on the North American. Was this good enough answer for you, Dimitri?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Then there are no other topics. I try to remember if there is something that's not on the list, but yeah, nothing comes to my mind at least. Anyone else? Any suggestion, problem, improvement, request, questions, anything? Okay, if there's no other topic, then I think we discussed everything for today, and let's meet next week. Next week we will have regular triaging, and until then, have a nice week, and see you next week, and bye-bye.
You too. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.